All right, just taking her out for a cruise, getting some impressions here. She scoots. She may be an SUV, but she scoots. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. So glad you did. Today we have a vehicle out of our own personal stable that we're going to be talking about. It's a 2017 Mercedes AMG GLC 43. It's a mouthful. You'll get a little bit tongue twisted if you try to say that a few times. This is a car we bought brand new in 2017. It's my wife's daily driver. We're just going to kind of cover some of the experiences we've had owning the car for the last 40,000 miles, any issues that came up, our opinion on the car, and we'll go from there. Come along. So when my wife and I were looking for a new daily driver for her, we wanted something that was sporty, was fun, but yet could still be a safe, reliable vehicle for her in the Minnesota winters. Some of the vehicles we looked at were an SRT8 Jeep. That was just right off the bat too big for what we needed. We looked at a Porsche Macan. To put it into perspective, we both felt like a fat guy in a little coat riding in that car. The interior is beautiful. To give you a description, the way we felt is there was too much of our body exposed. It felt like the window was showing off a lot of our body. We just didn't like the way that felt. That was our main complaint. My other complaint with the Macan was the fact that my head hit the roof when I was sitting in the back seat, which I never intended to do, but for whatever reason that was something that stood out to me. Having the GLC and the Macan right next to each other, that's kind of the two we were between. I just thought this was a more beautiful car. It's unique. Even today, what are we in? Early July 2019. This came out in 2017 in the AMG package. There's only approximately 50 used examples for sale across the entire nation of the GLC. That's 2017, 18, and 19. There's only about 50 of the coupes. Now what I mean when I say coupe is the slanted roof. They have this same car in more of the standard SUV with the boxy rear end. With the coupe variant, it is approximately $3,000 more. It's a little wider on the rear end, and you get the slick, sleek roof line. Now, and looking at some other reviews of this car, there's a lot of people that say, oh, it's not practical, or oh, I hate it. I say hogwash. We've driven the car for 40,000 miles. It's kind of our daily car for our family. If we're going out running errands, this is the car we take. It's just my wife and I and my son, Austin. So it's not like we have a huge family. If that's what you want, then yeah, it's not that this isn't the right car for you, most likely. If you have a bunch of sports, hockey gear, football gear, baseball gear, this isn't the right car for you. But to say that the car is not practical, I don't agree with that. My opinion is the car is completely practical. To open the trunk, to show you the size of the interior, you actually push the emblem here and the trunk will come up. Right? And that's the space that you have. We frequent Costco, big Costco people, shout out to Costco. And we have never been in a situation where we do not have enough room in the vehicle. Obviously, if you know you're going to buy something, a chair or a mattress, then you make other arrangements. But on a daily basis, we have not once got into a situation where we couldn't fit something we needed into the trunk. So my opinion is this vehicle is completely practical.
So as we were talking about before, to open the trunk, you need to press the Mercedes logo inwards. And something very cool about the backup camera is it actually pops out right under it to keep it safe and less debris and dust, and it just looks sweet too. It's a very sneaky way of putting a backup camera in, and a very nice design as well.
So on the 2017 GLC AMG 43, again that 43 is in reference to the motor that comes in the car. In this case, it's a 3-liter bi-turbo V6. There's a little contention through true AMG fans and this. It's kind of similar to give it a comparison, to BMW putting M Sport badges on non-M cars. I kind of see the point of view, but I also think, in my opinion, it's a bunch of hogwash. AMG put their name on this car, they put their blessing on this car, and driving the car and knowing what the car can do, I think it's every bit a true AMG. One of the big complaints that the true enthusiasts have is that the 3-liter bi-turbo engine is not hand-built. It is a factory-produced motor. Okay?
So about the whole factory-produced motor thing. Yeah, that may mean it's not hand-built by the 50 people working at AMG, but that doesn't mean that this is not every bit of AMG. This thing is powerful. It has lots of torque in every single gear, 9 of them to be exact. It actually has a 9-speed speed shift automatic from Mercedes, which is very, very snappy. It's not a dual clutch, but it's snappy, and it is very nice downshifts and upshifts. It's a very nice transmission equipped with this motor. So this motor actually also comes in the non-AMG variant, but the AMG variant gets a few other little things. It's tuned up a little more, and it has injectors and a cam, which make it a little more powerful, beef it up a little. Of course, this has around 362 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. I'm a little bit off, I know, on the torque, but it's pretty much the right numbers. This car does 0 to 60 from the factory in 4.3 seconds, and it's got huge brakes that stop it from 60 to 0 in 109. They're not carbon ceramic, but they are very large AMG branded brakes. Right above the brakes, which you can't really see, is an AMG air suspension, which works very, very well when you're shifting through the modes. It'll lower and lift itself, which we have a video of. We'll show right after this clip. And it's very nice for the seasons and everything. So back here with the AMG versus the non-AMG one, we also get these new exhaust tips, a small wing back here, which I think looks very nice. And that's about it when it comes to the AMG. As I was saying, the GLC Coupe, like Todd was talking about earlier, we have this nice sloped line, and this GLC Coupe comes in 3 different models. This is the entry-level AMG. There is a non-AMG, the GLC 300. There is the entry-level AMG, this one here. The entry-level means that it has the 43 motor, the 3-liter bi-turbo V6, the enhanced AMG motor. And then next it is the GLC 63 and 63S, which means it has a twin-turbo V8, which is expensive and fast.
After Austin told us all about the motor, let's hear what it sounds like. As you can see, the thing's a riot. I mean, it's an absolute rocket ship. That's part of the experience of driving a car, is just the pure sound it makes. A car could be slow, but if it sounds cool, then hey, that just adds to the whole adrenaline of driving a car. This one nails it in both regards. It sounds cool and it's quick.
What is luxury to you guys? Luxury to me is something that's beautiful to both look at and touch. Something that makes you feel happy and it's comfortable and you enjoy being there. Something you could sit there and look at for just hours on end. And not only has Mercedes done that with the outside of this car, but the inside is absolutely no exception. The interior of the Mercedes AMG GLC 43 Coupe is done so well that I can't stop looking at it. The red stitching all over the interior of this car is so well done that it leaves me with no words. That's simply what it does. The swooping dash, the large display and the beautiful seats with nice bolsters and the grippy steering wheel. You know, after a really bad work day, this would be a nice place to go to just leave. Wow. Every time I sit in it, I'm just left with no words because it is a very beautiful spot to be. There's stitching across the entire dash and flows and just amazing, amazing designs. But one of the most amazing things is all the technology they packed into this little thing. You get this beautiful display of all of the settings the car has and everything. You can look at anything. I mean, Mercedes went to the point of making it look great about how much gas mileage you're getting. They didn't need to do that. But it's the best or nothing. Of course, the vehicle settings. I mean, we can go through anything in here. Acoustic lock feedback, belt adjustments. The doors open and it shows a beautiful thing of everything on the inside of this car. Everything is so well laid out and beautiful, not to mention the ambient lighting. So it's not easy to see right now. I'll throw a clip in here later, but there's ambient lighting along this entire thing, the entire dash and the doors and under by your feet and the footwells. It lights up of 3 different colors of choice, and it just makes you feel amazing. You can change it between orange, blue, and white, and it really just all depends on your mood.
So the factory price on the GLC AMG 43 Coupe is right around $59,000. The sticker on this model was right around $67,000. So this model has approximately $7,000 worth of options. Let me show you what those options are. It does not have the driver assist package. If it did, the Mercedes star would be blacked out. It does have the illuminated star, however. The star lights up at night. It also has the AMG night package, which all of this turns black at night, and that kind of follows through around the entire car. The blackout around the windows is part of the night package, and then on the back of the car, the black exhaust is the night package as well. There's also a trailer receiver that will probably never get used, but it's there. It's like a $500 option. All the other options are inside of the car, and there's really not that many of them. The car has navigation. You can tell a Mercedes having navigation of this era by having this little control that hangs over the knob. If it does not have navigation, there's just going to be the knob. If you look at these speakers, you can tell if you have Burmeister or not just by looking at the door speaker. So the additional options on this car are the illuminated star, the blackout or night package, the Burmeister, and the heated seats. There's also the door sill or mud, the puddle light, I think it's called, or entry light, that lights up as a star on the ground.
So, this being a daily driver for a few years now, I have no words. Like I've been saying, this car is just beautiful in every way. It drives great. We haven't had any issues with this thing. I mean, it's an amazing car. It sounds great. It puts smiles on your faces. It makes a lot of people turn heads. I mean, I know that's a very common phrase to use, but I mean, you don't see any of these on the road. Nobody sees the GLC Coupe, and it's just a beautiful car to look at, from the grille to the sloping lines, and it's a very well designed car, and they're both inside and out, and I'm very impressed with it, and that's probably why we own it. Todd?
Yeah, so like I said, we weren't necessarily specifically looking for this car, but after looking at a couple other cars that were fun, we knew this one was the car we were going to choose, kind of without question. Yeah, we have 40,000 miles on it. Other than simple upgrades and software upgrades, changed the rear brakes out at like 30-ish thousand. Hasn't been a lick of any sort of issue. The whole experience of owning a Mercedes is kind of fun, and the dealerships are a little more plush. They offer you more amenities when you're there. It's a great experience. I definitely do it again. I also got the privilege of going and doing the AMG Driving Academy with the purchase of a new AMG. They give you a certificate for a one-day driving experience. I got to do that. And one of the best days of my life by far. Anyways, if we had the opportunity to buy this car again, I'd say absolutely. I only think my opinion is that the whole coupe design is going to increase. I mean, if you think back, it actually started with the Honda Crosstrek, kind of that goofy looking Honda Accord that had a slanted roof, and then the X4 and the X6 kind of took off, and those are still going strong. They're even talking about an X8 coming. The Cayenne is coming with a coupe. So I think this look is here to stay, and it's only going to increase in demand. We're really happy you tuned in with us today. Click that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions about the car, I'd be happy to answer them. We look forward to seeing you again.
Yep, just like Todd said, like and subscribe for more videos. We'll be having this car and many other videos, I'm sure, as long as other cars in our garage. So I hope you guys enjoy. So as I was saying earlier, this is the V8 version of the GLC Coupe. It has different exhaust tips, different spoiler, different grille. There's a few different features throughout the car that look different. It also has the V8, the twin-turbo V8 rather than the twin-turbo V6. It features the AMG logo rather than the Mercedes when it shines down.
You can now have sport seats and sport exhaust, a few other cool things. It also has the 4MATIC Plus system where it can put the power to each wheel differently rather than the standard setup like ours where it's the 40-60 split or something very similar to that. And right here we have the GLC 300 Coupe, the base model of the Coupe GLCs. It just looks pretty standard. This one has the running boards, and you can see it doesn't have the night package with all that chrome, so that night package really does.
Well, we just picked up the GLC 43 AMG from its 40,000 mile B, as in boy, service. Came back with a clean bill of health. The only interesting thing the dealership had to say, I complained about the black trim on the car, mostly around the windows, how it looks kind of hazy. It's no longer shiny. We'll get that in a video. So I brought that up to the dealership today, and they actually warrantied it. So they are going to replace all of the black trim around the windows. So that's kind of cool. Other than that, I mean, we've been zipping around in this car for 40,000 miles. It is still a joy to drive. There's been no major hiccups. We actually still have the original tires on it because we have winter tires and wheels for the car, which I would recommend if you are looking into this car. I mean, the back tires on this thing are massive. They're like 295s, I believe. 295, 45, 20, if my memory's correct. I might be off on that. Anyways, I went with the standard GLC setup for my winter tires. The whole theory is if you have a thinner tire, you'll be able to cut through snow better. Anyway, regardless what your opinion is on that, that's my opinion. That's why I went with it. I thought that would give my wife the best drivability and performance in the wintertime. And I plan on buying those tires again, that size tire again, when that time comes. The handling difference in the wintertime between the all seasons, we got the all seasons on this from the factory, and it was a bit of a mess when you try to drive aggressively at all or try to make any sort of recovery. It was a mess with those big wide tires and all seasons. Night and day difference putting winter tires on the car. Some people may call it a downfall from the Macans as well as the F-Pace. Some of the main competitors to this car is it doesn't have the torque vectoring. The all-wheel drive system is set up for more or less a constant power. I don't have the percentage memorized. It's something along the lines of 65 in the rear, 35 in the front. And that's just constant power. That power is really not moving around much. Makes it a lot of fun for the seat of the pants feel for the car. The car launches incredibly. It does a great job of like squatting. I don't know if that's part of the air suspension, but under heavy acceleration, the car like squats down and takes off, and it maintains that squat through the accelerating. So even if you weren't going fast, which it is, it's a very quick car, the engineering behind that suspension makes it feel that it's going even faster than it is, in my opinion.